Hi Jordan, are you up or down money since you started playing MTTs? Up a lot. I don't know how much though, but I'm up a lot. Don't expect to get fold from this player. Expect to get called with the $25 on my head. Very difficult spot to fold. My range is obviously pretty strong for doing this, but I don't know that it's going to matter much. See that nines didn't think for very long before making the call, which is what I would expect. See that I continue to run as I do. But yeah, like how much do I think I'm up? I don't know. Like I haven't checked what the results under my real name are. But I know that the results under my real name are all the 5Ks and the 10K on party, and like 5Ks and 10Ks on party. And I know that I've done on party, I've crushed the 5Ks and 10Ks. So since I started doing that, so if you asked me to guess, I would say that I'm up 100. But it could be more, it could be a little bit less. It could be a lot more though. Like it could be like up to 200. And it can't be that much less. Like it might be up like 60 or 70 or something, but in total. But yeah. So we're gonna defend the King 8 of Hearts here against the 3-bet. But yeah. If I just look at I'm definitely stuck on stars through this period. I know that. So one of the 200s is running. This is just like a really weird spot to be in. I don't know. Maybe this is a fucking punt. I don't know what these 3.5x ranges look like. Ugh, I think I'm fucked. Maybe I should have just folded pre. I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of money in the middle when they fold. Obviously, like it matters if you have 0% fold equity, then that matters. I tend to assume that like this 3.5x sizing is like probably not standard and probably from someone that doesn't play these games very often. There we go. Fold this. Nines and a jack 7. Hopefully we can hold. Here we got into a lot of trouble and we're dead. Flop the 9. Villain made a straight. We lose. Sucks. Nice to be dominating someone with 3s. It's difficult. There we go. I'm going to be making the call here. Just going to call. Gonna make the call with Queen 7. Unfortunately, Queen 8. Good. I'm gonna check this back. Queen 7 cracks Queen 8, which is good. Take a W. There we go. So over jammed ace 3, we got called by ace king and lost against Josh, who's the fucking man. And we hold with the ace queen there, which is nice. I am sitting, just so everyone knows, I am sitting as high stakes as these games run. I'm sitting 1Ks, I'm sitting 500s. And obviously I'm sitting 200s since we're in those. It's a good hand. I think I just flatten this spot. It's not the worst thing to build a flattening range here. There we go. Heads up. This is a call. It's a pretty healthy call too. Like we feel this is like one of those like feel amazing about it in call hands. But we brick. It's a bad spot to get my chips in, but what are you gonna do? What would you consider a crushing ROI for 6-max hypers without rake back? Basically 0. Depends on what stakes you're playing. But if you can win for something between like 0 and 1.5, you're a badass. Winning for 0 is an accomplishment. The rake back on these games is considerable. And I'm gonna make the call here. Obviously there was no, like I could shove, I could min raise, I could do whatever the fuck I want to do, but 7s against ace jack is going in pre. But yeah, as far as like a solid healthy win rate in this format is basically 0%, and you can imagine the swings that produces. So you can win and lose tons for a game with 6 people. It's fun. It's a fun game, lots of action. We open pre-flop, bet the flop, barrel the turn, which you could definitely just shut down on, and I'm just going to shove the river. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get called there a lot, but there's 2 flush draws that bricked, and you can call with both on the turn probably, given my sizing. It's not like I'm using like some sizing that's prohibitive against that, so when I unblock the draws, barreling's a good idea. And you can make arguments around like not barreling that turn with my hand, but I block the ace-x that I think he's going to have at full weights that are a part of his pre-flop flatting range always. So I barreled anyway. I don't know, if you check it back and give up, it's like, it's whatever. Obviously I'm going to have lots of ace-king and ace-queen and ace-jack and ace-10, and which on the river would be chopping with my opponent's hand, but for barreling the turn with sets, etc. And I unblock all the ways that my opponent can fold, and I block the ways that he might call, so it's a good river bluff. Okay guys, what's going on? I am going to keep this one quick. We have got basically part 2 to the introduction to quantitative strategies. We have got implementing quantitative strategies on BBZpoker.com. This video is going to be a game changer for most people. It's going to help you to learn where you're overfolding flops versus bets, so where you're currently being exploited. It's also going to give you where you can exploit your opponents, where they are most likely overfolding versus bets, and it's going to teach you how to deal with those issues. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Head on over to BBZpoker.com and get this new must-have $14 video right now. There are guys that have made millions of dollars just winning rake back. There's nothing like it's just money. Like I don't like that. I feel like some people think that there's like some difference in terms of like how the dollars come into the account, but there's no difference. There's just the dollars coming into the account. That's it. They either come in or they don't. And like if you make the money with rake back or some other way, like it just doesn't matter. But yeah, there are guys like Shabalin Vlad, one of the biggest winners in this format when I was playing it a lot back in the day, if you will. He's one of the biggest winners, and if not the biggest winner. And he was a pre-rake back loser, actually. He lost for 0.5%, something like that. He couldn't beat the game. But he won more money than everybody else. And he won 7 figures. He won shitloads. This should be to half pot. I'm just like being stupid. I didn't realize I was in position. Lost the flip. Coach Parker in the BBZ team. I mean, he attended the seminars and stuff and went through the whole thing, but I coach Parker quite a bit. Today it's more like collaborating. He's gotten a lot better through his time with us and then also on his own, just doing a lot of work. So now it's more like, you know, we talk a lot and, or a bit, I don't know about a lot. We talk, study together. I don't know if I'd really call it coaching anymore. He learned a lot of what he didn't know and needed to know to get good again, like really good. And it's more like collaborating now. Studying together. So I jammed the button with Queen 8 suited for 10, which seems very standard. So any day 2s today? No, no day 2s. I made a run in the 5K. I bubbled the a 10K sat, but no, there's no day 2s today. I limped the cutoff here. Flop trips. Stab. Good spot to have aces. Sorry guys, some of this table management in terms of where it gets placed is just atrocious. We are currently playing too many tables, but that's my grind sometimes, is what it is. In this format. Like I said, can't talk. Don't like it, sorry. Can't fix it. Shitty river. Yeah, so this was check back pre-flop, check down to the river, lose to pocket 4s. It's good, actually. I thought about doing something pre-flop, which wouldn't have been very good. Anything that would have put in more money pre-flop would have been bad. Hopefully Harlem decides to drop it in here. Obviously if I shove, Queen Jack calls, so I didn't really accomplish anything. Presumably Josh playing a lot of tables. Running it here with King 9 against 5s. Don't get there. If your opponents are bad, do you think hypers are beatable? Hypers are beatable. You just have to have a rakeback program, guys. Like they're beatable. They're just beatable with a rakeback program. It depends on the rake that you're actually paying per game too, right? But they're beatable with a rakeback program. Most sites will have a rakeback program. Like if the rake is standard and you can just check to see, like standard being comparable to Party Poker or Poker Stars or whatever. If they're comparable to that, and then there's some kind of rakeback program, they're beatable. Down here, I think I have to run it with 5 big blinds with Queen Jack suited. This is less about thinking I have the best hand and more about thinking you just have to make a call with 5 big blinds with Queen Jack suited. Coolered my man Josh, which, when in doubt, just cooler someone. Check raise flop with Queen 7 and double barreled there with air. King 6 against Queen 8. Let's hold. This is for all the marbles. There we go. We beat Josh, which is nice. I think I'm just gonna slam this in. We have like a 1-to-1 SPR at this point. After I call, I'm just gonna shove. Hope my opponent doesn't have a pair. My opponent does have a pair. Sucks. Lost a flip there. Soon enough. So there's 16 left, 7 off, 25 big blinds. This is, if this is pure chippy V, then this would be called, but this is really fucking hard. Like, that's the thing, like, this is the hand that you see the most frequently, and like, I'm an equity favorite against that hand. Obviously I'm getting a price too. There's a price component to this decision, but I'm an equity favorite against this hand, and it's like about how much of a risk premium I need. It's like, it's kind of a complicated situation. There are very few hands that are likely to take that line that dominate me. I have, what have I done? I've lost $100. So average ROI is 18%, which what that is telling you is that I smashed the lower stakes games, like the 50s and the 20s and the 100s, and primarily lost in the 200s today, and for a net total of minus $100 for the day. Just gonna flat with ace king here, and just gonna call, and just going to call again. It's an interesting bet size. That sucks. Yeah, so, you know, didn't do great today in terms of 6-max hypers, but obviously pretty much break even. If you're playing 200s and you lose $100, it's pretty much a break even day. I'm going to stack off here, 7 big blinds. Again, it matters a lot that I cover this player by a good margin. Not exactly the outs you want to see is your opponent flip up king queen. But if your opponent is going to have king queen, running out a straight is a good way to go when the other guy makes top pair. Unlucky, buddy. I'm just going to take a shot at this. It's possible my opponent has the nuts. Yeah, happens. 30 big blinds, and Cal busts me. So GG, guys, and good luck to the rest of you. I will probably be back later on this week for another 6-max hyper stream. That one wasn't enough to shock me into not playing, given that I didn't lose money. So I'll be back. Thanks very much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it, and peace.